everyone can see my nice PJs.
Oh my god. Embarrassment to the podcast. Do a uniform review. The Nats just came out with new uniforms.
Oh boy. You love a uniform review. Alright, we are live.
Oh.
Great. Look at this. Excellent connection. Alright, let's get up that we're live, and then we'll get this show started. Do you have a list of all the coaching hires?
Real quick.
You can get one started in a Google Doc.
It's definitely like a tracker. Zone.
What?
You know DAZN?
DAZN? Like
I didn't even know that they had
service?
Yeah, I didn't know that they had articles. Shout out to DAZN.
Yeah, look at that.
Just pasted a link in our chat.
I wrote an article today.
I saw that.
Files. It's already up there.
What was the first one that you wrote? Was that when Belichick
That was Belichick, yeah.
left? Jailed files.
Yeah. Yeah. Figured, let's get cheesy, White. What was I looking at?
All in the alliteration.
Yep. Dude, do you have the thing where Google will just send you to a random link that you used once for that specific website?
Yes.
Why does it do that? Like every time I open up YouTube, it goes up to our live stream where we.
I don't know. There's this one, like, when I try to go to my chart, which is like the patient portal for my doctor, it takes me to the same broken link, like the wrong site, and it's infuriating.
Yeah, it's infuriating. Wait, where's this link? Or is it in our Google Doc? Just the wise guys?
Discord.
Oh, it's a Discord. Okay.
I can put it somewhere else if it's
No, that works.
more easily accessed.
No, I'm right here.
My eyes are closed to that.
All right, audio looks good.
Oh yeah, let me unmute this real quick.
Tweet out about
it. Adam Steen, you look good.
We look good? All right. That's what we like to hear. What was that in
the YouTube chat?
Nice.
Throw response to that.
Thanks. Best part is that it's from your account too, so it looks like it just knows that you're.
I know. Not even the wise guys.
Yeah. All right. Ready to go?
Ready.
All right.
I also, just so everyone knows, I don't sit in the comments the whole episode. I just am there to check the audio, and then I close out the window.
People get mad. People want us to look at the comments. They get mad if we don't see them. Do you get?
I guess
people
I should,
telling-
but like it also slowed down my computer.
That's what the issue with me is. It'll slow down the computer, and I also see myself 2 seconds later when I already see myself half a second later. It's already too much going on. I can't be looking at myself that many times.
Yeah. Yes, I'll keep it up this time in case we do get comments.
All right.
I can go on a little side quest of responding to chats. I do have one friend who says that he can't comment when he watches it. I don't know if it's just like a him issue.
I do say they're not made for children, so maybe he's a child. That's the only thing.
That's good. We don't want to expose the children to this.
No, they'd get into gambling way too soon. Our wise picks are just too good. Speaking of which, I'm glad that we even started.
But Will, if you're listening, try that. Make sure you're not a child.
I don't think you're able to watch the video if you're a child, so I don't know. All right. Oh, I had a great stat that I forgot to do last. Flip pod 2 days. All right. Ready? Let's get
Yes.
started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing pretty well today, Chris. Nothing, before we get started, random tangent. Nothing is better than just working for some old person and doing yard work and getting some cash. Right?
How you spent your day today?
That's how I spent my day. Since 8 a.m., it was like I just woke up from a little nap. Both of us did, actually. We're the sleepy guys today.
Yes, we did. We need to get warmed up.
Yeah.
A little groggy.
Get the jaw going. I woke up at 8 a.m. Me, my friend Riley, we helped this guy move and had a great time. Got some the sweat flowing, the elbow grease. We had to move a washer and a dryer, so that was a pain.
Oh yeah.
And it got a nice $100 out of it, so it's a great way to start my weekend.
There you go.
And now I'm excited to talk about some NFL championship games.
Yeah, I will say it does feel good to do physical labor sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I could not do a job where I was just that's what I did.
Yeah.
But every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
helping your dad out with a project or something like that, it feels good.
Oh yeah.
It makes you feel like a man. Not to be sexist, but
no,
very manly.
Yeah, put some hair on your chest, right?
It does put some hair.
Yeah, it's always great. I'm sure my dad, if he listens to this episode, is like, well, he doesn't like it when I ask him for help. My dad doesn't hand me $100 afterwards. All right, let's get into the games. And before we start talking about them, shout out real quick. Or if you've noticed, we don't have a thumbnail for this episode. It is because our chief graphics designer is on a flight to the AFC Championship game right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he just left for Charlotte midday. Hopefully, he's in Baltimore by now and has a safe flight. And maybe we'll get a thumbnail by tomorrow. Who knows? But he's gonna enjoy the game. Excited for him to enjoy that game. So, just shout out Lambo. Let's talk about his Ravens. Ravens versus the Chiefs. Huge news that I got alerted right before we started this episode is that the Chiefs are losing Joe Thuney, former Pats guard. He's not going to be playing in this game. That's a huge impact. We talked about Matabuke last episode, how he can get in the inside and sack the quarterback. A replacement for him is going to be huge this game.
Yeah, I mean it's not great to lose your starting left guard. Not just any starter too. a pretty damn good one
Hmm.
against the number one pass rush in the league.
Yeah, yeah. We had to.
As we were
We were
informed on
corrected.
Twitter by
We were.
Ethan, who's in the comments already. So I feel like we're playing under some pressure right now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see that?
He's already calling
Better
us
hear some
out.
real appreciation for the
Yeah.
Ravens,
None of this. Oh, I guess we'll give the
as
Ravens
if
a. Yeah, as if we haven't been
as
giving
if
the
I
real.
didn't have them as my preseason Super Bowl team.
Yeah, the
But yes,
fact.
it is. It's not great. And like they get Mark Andrews back, so it was like it's a double whammy kind of.
Hmm.
I get like they're not lining up against each other or anything, but having just another tight end back, likely's been awesome in his absence, and now you can use both of them. Um, it's not great.
No, it's not great, and the injury report is long for them. Not only that, they're using Derek Nada, which I don't know if he's had a good season or how old he is, but Sky Moore's out, a wide receiver that they thought they were going to be able to use against Buffalo. I don't know if he actually did. A couple,
Yeah, that does nothing.
yeah, no, it really doesn't.
Like Tony's questionable again, I think, and like
They
that
want
doesn't
him out, right?
almost rather him not
Yeah,
play.
they
If
want
it
him. They
is.
don't want him playing. Um, but yeah, this is good for the Ravens. I mean, they had Marlon Humphrey full participation, uh, and Rockison full participation, so they should probably play. I'm guessing if they played on Friday practice, they're probably going to play in the AFC Championship. Um, and yeah, it looks like the Ravens are just getting healthier. Big injury report for the Chiefs. But that being said, it's still Mahomes in the playoffs. What's the line again? I don't have it up.
It's up to 4 now. Ravens laying
4?
4.
Wow.
4.
And it was what, 3.5? Went up.
Hmm. Why does 4 feel so much bigger than 3? I guess because it's not a field goal.
Yeah, right when you get away from the field goal territory, it's just like it makes it so much hairier. I'm looking at it right now. I didn't know the Lions were 7.5 point underdogs.
Yeah.
We got to make some wise picks today. Looking at this game, what do you like? What do you don't like?
I can't in my right mind go against Mahomes
Mhm.
after these last 2 weeks. And I've sat here in wild card round. I took Miami to beat them because I just thought that this Chiefs team was broken. This was the year that they finally don't do anything in the playoffs and they take the shit out of the Dolphins. Next week, it's Buffalo's year. Finally get him at home. First road playoff game for Mahomes. It's still like they find a way to win. And I was very adamant that like that was Buffalo lost that game, right? That
Yes.
the reason they lost is because they're frauds, not because Patrick Mahomes is their daddy, even though he is.
Mm-hmm.
But still, because of that, like I can't take or I can't pick against Mahomes anymore. I can't do it like
So you're
I
too
can't give that
scarred.
pick out.
You're too scarred from
I
the
can't
last.
lose to him 3 times in a row.
No, you really can't. And oh man, Ethan's gonna be so mad. He's already fuming. I can feel him
But I
typing in
also
the
can't go
podcast.
against my Super Bowl pick. Like how could I flip?
I know. It's you're in a tough
So I
pickle
could just take if I just took the Chiefs +4, and it kind of covers me either way, right?
because you're not betting against Mahomes, but you're also thinking the Ravens can
Right.
win the game. And I like
Correct.
you're in the particular spot where I think the four helps you because you know 3 point game like you in this scenario you technically you want the Chiefs to lose, but you're then also still not betting against Mahomes. You're kind of covering your ass. I think the +4 has to be the way to go
I guess
because I
so.
think you are covering your ass because
Yeah.
you're saying
I
it's going
could
to be
see
a
this
close
being
game.
an epic game too.
Yeah, so can I.
That
I
is
can see
that
it
is
coming
won
down
by a
to a
field goal.
3 point game.
Like I
Yeah.
could see Tucker hitting the game-winning field goal
Hmm.
at the end of this game. What's the weather going to be like? Is it going to be chilly again?
I don't know. What's it like in? I mean, you're in Maryland.
It's 70 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's warm everywhere right now.
Weird, but I think it's gonna get back down to the 40s. Not as cold as last weekend.
No, not nearly as cold. And I don't know. Let's throw that out the window. I think both these teams can play in the cold.
I was just curious. It might rain.
Ugh, rain would
No,
make this
not
so
thinking.
lame. I don't want it to rain.
Yeah, 45. Would be no rain.
Oh, it does say what rain expected for Baltimore for Chiefs 7 hours ago
Yeah,
on
it's just the
CBS.
morning though.
Okay, so we have in the comments we have Ethan begging over here, saying that losing Derek Nada also helps their bad run defense get even worse. That is true. Their run defense is not good, which is going to be a struggle for them. And I think really, you're saying I wouldn't bet against Lamar.
Resumes are a little bit different.
Say again.
The resumes are a little bit different
Yes, the resumes are a little bit
between
different.
Lamar and
I would definitely not compare the two. I'm just now I'm stuck reading these chats and it's very funny. Mahomes over under 1.5 tantrums this game. I think it depends on his wide receivers at this point. Or if there's a bad
and
play
no,
as
it
well.
depends on the referees.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. All right.
I will say, like, this is like completely unrelated to the game, but I was just thinking about like pictures of him crying and stuff, and for some reason that made me think of like his family and then Taylor Swift. But the
Okay.
thought of Taylor Swift going to Baltimore is really funny.
I
Just
wanted to
being in
mention
that
that.
city,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
such like I like Baltimore because it was the closest city to me growing up. Uh, I don't think anyone's gonna disagree that it's a dump of a city.
It's it's funny because it's like Taylor's. She's probably texting Travis, like, "Hey, can any way I can skip this one?" Like, no, you really can't. I'm sorry. You gotta fly up. The NFL needs you. Travis needs you. And they should get Kodak in the other box though. Kodak Black needs to be in the other box.
Have you seen the meme where it might have been one of my friends that just made this because I haven't seen it on Twitter, but it was like, I like our guys, and it's a picture of like Mahomes, Jackson, Brittany, Taylor Swift, and then at the bottom it's Lamar, Kodak, Stavi. Uh, I forget who else, but it's so funny.
No, I have not seen that. But
It's just such like a ratchet fan base and group of people.
whoa.
Like it is. It's not.
I mean,
I mean, I root for the Phillies, and that's a ratchet group.
all right, you're covering yourself. That's all that matters.
I like Baltimore, and like I would wear that. I would wear it as a badge of honor that Taylor Swift would not want to come here. I'm not saying like, ugh, like Baltimore.
No, yeah, I agree.
Ratchet was too aggressive of a word, I think, but I think you'd know what I mean. Like a little rough around the edges.
All right. Well, while all this was going down, since it's only a couple games this week, I was searching through the player props that I like. And what I came up with for this game is I like Isaiah Likely over 21 yards and a half. Because I think even though Mark Andrews is back, that could be they could use him as a decoy. They could still use Isaiah Likely. They've loved Isaiah Likely out there. I think he's big in this passing game and the way they like to move the ball. So I still like him over 22 yards. I like MVS over 15. Just get him that one catch for 30. So he needs a one catch.
I catch it.
Yeah, he's just got to catch it. And then Mahomes over 27 and a half rushing
That's
yards.
also like that's a torturous bet to have and watch.
MVS 15 yards.
It's like waiting for one ball.
Yep, waiting for the one deep ball.
Because you know he's not getting more than like 2 chances.
Nope. Yeah,
Probably not even more than 1.
It's a dangerous bet that is hit plenty of times though.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Hit last week.
You regularly take it?
Um, with
Very-
a line as low as 15, I'd regularly take it. Um,
What was the rushing prop? I
Mahomes,
interrupted.
27 and a half. He runs in playoff games.
7.
He's gonna get. He can
Not
get out of
last
the
week.
pot. Get out of it. I think in a tight situation, he can get out and scramble for 30.
Yeah, and he's going to be under pressure.
Yeah, as we miscalculated in the last episode about the number one pass rush that he's now facing.
But that's another one where that could come on carry.
Yep, I can come on one.
20 yards, 30 yards
Yeah,
against Miami.
I 100% agree. Yeah, and like I always think about the Texans game a couple years ago. I know that's like a while ago now, but like he looks like the pocket's completely collapsed. He had like some 80-yard run for a touchdown or whatever. Like he can just find a way out of the pocket. And if I'm gonna bet, like Lamar is 67 and a half rushing yards. Like that's ridiculous to bet. And I know it's probably more likely to hit, but it's just it's a huge number compared to I like trying to find the
Mhm.
smaller numbers that get overlooked almost.
Let's see. What's Zay Flowers touchdown at?
Find out.
That
Touchdown scorer anytime
at
Zay
plus 170 on
Flowers.
DraftKings. I like that.
FanDuel plus 200. Grab that at plus 200 if you want.
Ooh,
I'll write that down.
bad. Wait, DraftKings has a boost that's Chiefs to win and Travis Kelsey 40 yards boosted to plus 350.
That's a nice bet if you're betting on the Chiefs. You like that's a gimme, right? If you're already betting the
Seems
Chiefs money line,
ridiculous.
you got to bet that, right?
Yeah, what is that boosted from? That's wild.
Yeah, it's got to be boosted from something with an alternate line. So it's got to be pretty good money for a boost.
Yeah, I don't know. That's strange.
I wonder what this is going to sound crazy. I wonder what Dalvin Cook's rushing yards. Oh, they don't have it. That would be funny.
Playoff Dalvin.
Playoff Dalvin. That's something we didn't mention in the last episode is that he looked amazing in his like 3 carries with the Ravens compared to his um his whole career with the Jets.
Yeah. I still can't believe that he just literally fell off the face of the earth.
I know. And then like the team was just like, yeah, we'll give you up for another team in the playoffs. Like here you go. Like we really don't care that much.
Very strange.
All right. Were you able to look at any other ones? I had a bouquet to record a sack
Kind of
plus
scrolling through now.
plus 142. Matabuke sack. Now that Tooney's out, I don't know. I
Yeah,
hate
you
betting
love
on
him.
sacks. No, I know. I just hate betting sacks. I do love Matabuke though. Fantastic. Kicking props.
Rushing,
What's
receiving.
oh,
Likely's line is only at 21 and a half.
yeah, I'm telling
It's
you.
because Andrews is coming back, but
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to use him as Andrew's line is way higher. It's like 36.
I mean, both of those feel low.
Yeah, both those do feel low, and both of them can break it. But I don't know. I think likely with 30 is way easier than Mark Andrews getting almost 40.
Mhm.
Right. On the
Dell
game,
just needs 20.
I think the wise pick of the week, and it's everyone's gonna all. I already hear Ethan typing. I hear him typing right now. I think it's got to be Chiefs. I think it's got to be Chiefs plus 4 because it's the perfect cover for you for this week.
Right. Well, do you agree with that? Like,
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a close game, and I think
Okay.
getting 4, like having that extra point move, I think helps us in the scenario, and I think that's what we want.
Yeah.
So
I think you're insane if you bet against them. Honestly.
yeah, I think
You're
I think you're insane if you don't pick. Like I don't know if you're betting for the Ravens. Like I don't mind the Ravens money line, but I don't think the Ravens covering is a smart bet.
Mhm.
All right. So our wise pick, KC +4. And not wise pick, but we'll throw him out there. We had Isaiah Likely, over 21 yards, 22. MVS over 16 yards. Mahomes over 28 rushing yards. And Zay Flowers plus 200 touchdown. All that together. Let's
Sweet deal.
let's parlay it up real quick. And we'll let you know what the odds are.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Likely.
Boom. All right. Plus 3,500 is our parlay.
Oof,
You add them all
big
together.
money.
So, yeah, you could get some big money off this if you want to take it. And even if you don't like the wise pick, you want to bet the Ravens money line on here. It is still plus 24,000. So, pretty meaty parlay. Switch it around. You can workshop it. I like it a lot.
No, not 24,000.
2,400. 2,400.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. All right.
All right.
Anything we missed on this game? Did you want to talk about the? Did you see the AI Taylor Swift stuff that the fans are making? And apparently she's
no comment.
All right, no comment. Apparently there's been some AI.
I saw that she's thinking about taking action.
Yes, I saw that she was thinking about taking action.
It was a little much, even for Twitter.
It was foul. It was very foul.
Yeah, it was very foul. I saw it and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's just
Jeez.
yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that and go to the next game.
But like, it's also AI.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like, I don't know how that's like allowed to sue someone for. Well, I don't know.
That's the thing, right? I mean, I guess that's the whole AI conversation. How do you protect these famous people like that? I don't know. I think if you're famous, you just take the punches.
But it's not real. Like, it's
no.
not
I know. Yeah, I know, and it's not even like it's I don't know. Let's just leave it where it's at. We don't want Swifties against us. All right.
That's the last thing we need. Ethan and the Swifties on us on Twitter. Deadliest combo. Also, I will say before we move on, you can tell that they're nervous.
Ravens fans, it's because they're getting antsy.
Yeah.
It's because they're getting antsy.
Yeah, you can tell. You can feel the anxiety.
Oh, I 1,000% agree. All right, what do we like in this game? I don't know any injury stuff. I don't know if Debo's playing. I haven't seen him on any lines, so I haven't. He returned to practice yesterday.
He'll be out there.
Yeah, he played. He returned. He's back.
Yeah, he set the.
What about weather? Important for this game.
Let's check it out. We clearly did a lot of prep for this episode.
I know.
66 and partly cloudy. Great. Which is not good for the Lions.
No, not good for the
Lions.
Lions.
Want to play in the rain.
Yeah, you want Brock Purdy in the rain after last week. Clearly, that was a good sign for.
And it just plays your strengths running the football. So, I mean, I guess the Niners can run it too with McCaffrey, but you want to shorten the game as much as possible if you're the Lions. Long possessions.
Agree.
Chew that clock. Less chance, or the less time that the Niners have the ball, less points they can score.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. As we said,
simple game, Dan.
As we said in the last episode, I think it's very important for the Lions to get the ball first. I think it's very important to get the Lions up a touchdown on that first drive, at least a field goal. You want this Niners team playing behind. You want them a little scared. And You want to be able to control the football, as we say. You want to be able to run the football, and play the Jared Goff style that you want to play. Um,
Hmm.
all right, what what do we like? 7.5 is a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. I think the Niners are going to roll them. It just feels like one of those games where like the Lions have kind of gotten by last couple weeks. I mean, last week like they looked good. Um, only won by one score at home against the Bucks though. Barely beat the Rams, and the Niners are coming off like one of their worst games, and they're just not going to look like that again. Where it feels like no one's surprised that the Lions have looked the way that they have the last couple weeks, and even though they're winning games, it's like they're not playing a dominant brand of football. Where I think if the Niners are at their best, then this game could be a 2 touchdown game.
I
That's where
agree.
I'm at with it, and I hate it because I love the Lions, and I would love to see them in the Super Bowl.
I think they're just going up against too much
I think it would be,
firepower.
yeah, I think so too.
There's too much firepower. There's too much. And like, is Kyle Shanahan really going to fumble this situation of going to the Super Bowl again?
Yeah, I'd be surprised at home too. I think the clock's hitting midnight.
And it's
I just think like we've been
the
talking
issue
about
is
this
it's the
team all
Niners
year.
game to lose. Yeah, it's the Niners game to lose,
Yeah,
which is the issue.
so
And
that worries me a little bit in the sense that like all the pressure is off of San Francisco right now. Like no one thinks that the Lions are going to win this game. I don't think,
mhm,
other than the Lions, and they know that. They're coming in like they're already playing with house money, having made the playoffs and hosted a playoff game and won a playoff game. And now they've won 2 of them. So like they have nothing to lose. This is a success of the season. 49ers, it's not a success of a season unless they win the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
like that part would make me a little nervous as a Niner fan because if you're down a couple points at halftime, things are going to start getting tight. Um, but I think you're right. There's too much firepower on this team, and I don't like as much as I like Aaron Glenn and think that this defense has made some good adjustments this year. I don't I just don't think they have the dudes.
And I'm worried there's going to be the Jared Goff pick. It's probably going to go to someone like Fred Warner. It's going to be like, oh, the San Francisco defense is so back, and it's like, and if that happens early, specifically if it happens early, that's going to be huge for the Niners and huge for just
Mhm.
yeah the do we like, I mean, golf interception here is minus 130 134.
I mean, it could be another situation like last week where at the end of the game they have like a last ditch effort out of 4 points. He throws a stupid pass.
Yeah, that's true. The I like his over on passing. I think he goes down with the ship.
Off.
Yeah, it's over
Well, but the thing,
255.
like their formula for winning is not letting Jared Goff cook.
I know, but if
That
it
is
does
not
get
how they win it.
but if it gets hairy, they're gonna have to resort to it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I don't like it. And if we're taking the 7.5, we have to take the props based off the 7.5. I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I guess that's true.
if we think it's going to be over a touchdown game near the end, then Goff's gonna have to be going down with the ship here.
Yeah, that is true. What's his total at?
It's 255.5.
Okay, that's a pretty high number. The game total is high, 51.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's 275.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
mean,
that
yeah,
at
that just
all.
shows how susceptible the Lions defense is.
Yeah, it's true. McCaffrey's rushing prop is 86 and a half.
Anytime touchdown is minus 360.
Oh god. Did he get one last week? Didn't he get like two?
Yes, he did. He had the last one,
Hmm.
and he might have had one earlier in the game.
For him to get 40 yards, it's minus 1400. Just
If
rushing.
we're doing the 7.5, should we take 49ers first drive touchdown plus 145?
Ooh, I like that.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's dig into these numbers real quick.
Yeah, I like that.
How often score on their first? Gotta be a site that has this.
Also, in that same sense, Laporta over 48 and a half. I like that.
I feel like he just I think he's always making plays on 8 downs.
No, and I was screwed last week because I thought, oh, he was gonna come back and he was a little injured or whatever, and they played just fine. And they feed him. They love using Laporta. Um, I like his receiving. The Niners numbers are so inflated
Okay.
though. Like I hate all these Niners numbers.
I know. The anytime touchdowns are ridiculous.
Well, the receiving
Debo and
props.
Ayuk are both even odds.
I guess what IU receiving line is
68.
80 and a half.
What?
George Kittle is 62 and a half.
I feel like if we took all of those unders, we'd make money. But you can
until
also get
until
burned.
until they dominate and they have like
Yeah, until it's over
Debo
after
and
the first
Ayuk
half.
have 100 and like halftime. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is a crazy stat.
Okay.
49ers have been very good in their opening possession of each half, scoring 14 times the first time they've had the ball in the half. Of those 14 times, 13 of them have been touchdowns.
Wow.
That was in December 16th, week 15. Well, all right, let's say it's basically a coin flip that they score on their first drive of the half.
Since when?
And this season,
Oh,
at
okay.
this point, based on this article.
Hmm.
And okay, let's see. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, 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 fumble, punt, touchdown, punt, touchdown, punt, touchdown. That's pretty crazy. I think that's a good bet.
All right, I like that. So what is it? 49ers score a touchdown on their first drive.
Yeah.
What's the line?
Let me find it again. Plus 145.
While looking, it's funny because I just keep finding Niners line or Detroit lines that I like. Josh Reynolds plus 400 for a touchdown. Ooh.
Isn't he questionable?
Oh, is he questionable? That would be lame.
Yeah. I know he's cleared to play though.
All right, sweet.
I
Josh.
feel like questionable in the playoffs is almost always they just throw
Yeah,
it
they're
out there. That's
playing.
why I was so shocked that these had those guys get ruled out.
Josh Reynolds
Must
is
seriously be.
the only thing that scares me is that he got a touchdown last week. But they
Yeah.
uh Jared Goff loves him specifically. He was on the
Hmm.
Rams, he loved him. Then he went on the Titans and did nothing. And now he's back on the Lions and he's scoring touchdowns for Jared Goff again. I do still like it. I think in a pinch they throw to Josh Reynolds, and I think he could get a touchdown
Hmm.
in this game. I wouldn't put that. If we do a parlay for this game as well, I'm not going to put that in the parlay, but I do like it straight up. Just a nice plus 400.
Throw it in there.
All right. What else do we want?
David Montgomery, 30 plus or 40 plus yards is only minus 130. Seems kind of weird.
I like that. Alternate line.
The only I mean, I don't know what his full total is. 42.5. I mean, he's gone under that twice in the last 3 weeks, but other than that,
Oh, but
he
those
hasn't
are
gone under since October.
yeah, but those have been the playoff games. That's what's
Yeah,
scary. Those are what matters. What
yeah.
about Jameer? He's at 47 when I'm looking at FanDuel.
I have him at 50.5, which I don't think is good value.
No, I don't like that at all.
74 last week, 25 the week before, 30, 43.
This is a fun
So
one.
3 out of 4 last game.
Jared Goff
But,
over 1.5 rushing yards is plus 118. Last week was the first time I think almost all season he had rushing yards. He ended the game with positive rushing yards. So I don't necessarily like it, but it's a fun one if you want to get some plus money off a pretty like
that's
should be
another
pretty
one that's
easy bet.
torture to watch
Yeah, that's definitely torture, especially if they
because you think
like
it's so easy and he just never runs.
he either never runs or he gets like 3 yards, and then at the last, like if they're winning, last play of the game, 2-2
Hmm.
kneels at the end. It's like, oh
Yeah. Yeah,
my god.
that is brutal.
Aiden Hutchinson to get a sack. It's minus 120.
I was just looking at that. I like that.
All
Or
right.
Bosa to get a sack.
Yeah, minus
Both of
178.
them to get a sack.
Maybe put them both
Wait,
in.
that's what you have it at?
178 is
I have
Bosa.
Bosa at minus 130 to get a sack.
Ooh, okay. Let's do it.
The Lions have a good line, though.
Yeah, but you know they're going to get to Goff at some point, right? He's going to tuck it in,
Hmm.
do a little fake punk fake, not throw it out, collapse on it. I can see it now. Oh, I mean, but Nick, no. We got to see Nick Bosa's stats against white quarterbacks, right? I got to see what that's looking like. Um, I do like Hutchinson to get a sack too. I don't know if we can put both on there, but
Yeah, I like that.
I like Hutch to get a
Yeah.
sack. I got him at minus
Sacks
120. You got
forever.
any better?
Mine was minus 115, so.
Okay.
Yeah, he has 5 sacks in his last 3 games.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So, what we're doing with
Bosa
this?
has none.
Bosa has none in his last 3 games.
Yeah.
He's due. He's due. He's due.
Love that, like with the trends, you just flip it for what you want.
Whatever you
like,
want.
If he's on a hot
Yeah.
streak, it's like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that'll continue. And if he's not, he's due.
Yep.
Like there's just no logic.
It's so good. It's so good. All right. So we're having, and we're doing the wise pick. San Francisco minus 7.5.
I think so.
I think it's the way to go too.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I don't like picking against the Lions.
It's
Makes
a
me
bummer.
sad. Yeah.
I don't either.
But yeah, I think it's the way to go. So, as a recap, we have Jared Goff over 255.5 passing. Sam Laporta, not Laporta, over 48.5 receiving. Niners to score on the first touchdown drive at plus 145. Nick Bosa to get a sack at minus 130, and Hutchinson to get a sack at minus 125. And if you're feeling spicy, throw in a Josh Reynolds at plus 400 touchdown. That's what we have. Do you have a? Did you make it as a parlay by any chance?
No, I didn't.
You have the alternate lines that I've read in mind. So you make it, and we'll see what the final tally is for this parlay. These are fun parlays, I think.
Sack.
I think we made some fun ones.
Oh yeah. Laporta. Oh, it's locked for some reason.
Ethan wants us to take Ravens minus 7 alternate spread.
Ugh.
And Adam, don't worry, we're getting to Ben Johnson later. He's still a candidate. But, he's already talking about the 2025 Super Bowl led by the Commanders. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Ben
There's a lot of
Johnson
coaching
and
news.
Drake May. Oh, they're locked, and then as soon as I go off the page, they come back. Might have to wait. What was Goff's total? I have him at 258.
255.
They're listening. What was Laporta's?
48 and a half.
Okay, never mind. All right, so that would. Oh, and I have to throw in the game line too. Let's go Niners -7, just so we don't get burned on that half a point.
Okay.
That would give you. My picks can't be parlayed. Why not? Let's come back to this. I'll
All
figure
right.
this out.
Yeah, you figure that out. We'll keep talking.
But this is a sham.
I think this game can go one of two ways. Either it goes Lions are up almost the whole game, fending for the lead, while the Niners are trying to come back, or it's a Niners 2-score game pretty much the whole time, and
Yep.
the Lions are trying to crawl back. Does that sound? Is there any other scenarios that I'm missing? I don't think the Lions will blow them out. I don't think they'll get completely torched, but of course, there's a scenario if they punt on that first drive, I'm going to be very nervous the rest of the game for Jared Goff.
If they don't get a stop, if they get down 7-0, it's trouble.
Yes, which sadly we bet for, but we're betting how we think it's going to go. So that is what we got. We'll get you with what the parlay is after Chris figures that out.
Sacks aren't in the same game parlay.
Oh, that's annoying.
Section for some reason.
It should be maybe they can't be same. Oh no, you can't parlay.
I'm in DraftKings because I'm locked out of FanDuel.
Can't do it on FanDuel either. So I guess sacks can't go in there.
Well, that's a load of crock.
Yeah, that is a load of crock. They're just trying to rob you of money. Remember that. If you can find a way to have that in the same game parlay, that's the way to do it.
They're also both around like even odds, so if you just take them as separate legs,
yeah, I
think it's still a good play.
All right, let's go to some coaches, shall we?
Yep.
So far, we of course talked about Gerard Mayo. I don't think we've talked about it. We talked about Antonio Pierce. And since then, we've had every job besides the Seattle Seahawks and your Washington Commanders filled up. We've had the Carolina Panthers get Dave Canals as the new head coach. He was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator. He is now in a 6-year contract with the Panthers.
Yeah, he'll last 2.
I was gonna say, good luck to this guy.
I like that's been gone through this with an owner like that. These guys they're insane for taking this job.
This was the hardest job. Like no one was wanting this job.
Yeah, they wanted Ben Johnson.
He wasn't coming here.
But no. He's not going to settle for anything less than a world-class organization with a really good general manager and smart ownership group.
Burgundy and gold.
That's just full of winners. Oh, I mean, I guess that's one of the openings left.
Oh, when he takes the Seattle job, all of Washington's
going to burn. No, they're going to get Dan Quinn.
Why do they want Dan?
Bring him back.
Didn't the Commanders interview Dan Quinn twice?
3 times, actually.
Oh my god.
They love Dan Quinn.
No.
I've pre-sold myself on Dan Quinn.
Well, we're not even on you yet. We're still on Dave Canales.
Love him.
We're still on poor Dave.
I didn't even know that Dave Canales was like a candidate for these jobs.
Neither did
I guess it makes sense though. Like he revived Baker.
Is that all it takes now?
Like there's gotta be.
It's like one good offensive coordinator year where you revive a bad player.
I mean, look at Bobby Slowick. Like CJ Stroud had a good year, and now he's Canada. He won't get a job this year. It looks like, but
Eric Bieniemy's never going to get a job.
No, I think he's screwed. But he's kind of in that situation that Ben Johnson is in right now, where like he was so deep in the playoffs every year, and then everyone just got impatient.
He
also never called the play though.
he also he's got to interview terribly. And that wasn't there something where like I don't know, you would know more than me. Wasn't there something about him in the locker room?
Yeah, no one liked him.
So
He was
there's
a
got to be
dickhead.
something with him because he's had if anyone has deserved it, stat based off statistics wise, it's
Mhm.
got to be that guy. But he's not even like it seems
Well,
like a
but like
necessary
now,
candidate.
like the Commanders' offense was worse than it was last year after he took over.
So maybe he's just a bad
So,
coach.
yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. Like they didn't have much putting him in a position to succeed, but like he definitely didn't do a good job this year outside of like the first couple weeks. Um, and like Reed called the plays in Kansas City.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
So, but I think if they were not in the AFC Championship every single year, he would have gotten a job because
That's
he could
fair.
have been hired quicker.
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Poor Dave Canales still can't get two sentences about him without training thought. Um, the Panthers are just like I think they're
What do
just
you know about Dave Canales?
I
Give
know
me two
nothing about him.
sentences about this guy.
I can't give you two sentences. I can give you that he worked for Seattle and he worked for Tampa Bay and he was at USC California. Um, and
USC.
and that's all I know about him. And now he has 6 years to get fired from the Panthers. That's what I know about him. Hopefully he can turn Bryce Young
Guarantee
around.
it won't take that long.
It definitely won't take that long.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
pray
don't
for
hate
this
the
guy.
hire. I don't.
No,
As little as I know about him, I'd be all right with it.
yeah, you can sell yourself quick on this guy, and I think it was the Panthers' goal was just to get a young head coach in here that wasn't a washed up
Yeah.
head coach that the owner can
I mean,
control a little bit, um, and that's how they're gonna do it.
if you look at head coaching hires, I think offensive guys have a better track record. Like if you just look at the list of
Definitely more
guys that have been
recently.
hired, right? And like the people that are like the most impressive in the league, like obviously McVay and Shanahan
Hmm.
are ones. Andy Reid, I mean, right there, it's a pretty good group.
Well, and you look at like the
Dan
the
Campbell's
Titans,
just like a dude.
the Titans. They hired Brian Callahan, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, and that's another guy who worked. I mean, he worked under what is it? Zach Allen is the head coach there, and he was a McVay guy. So now it's just kind of like offspringing of McVay guys.
Taylor.
Zach
But
Taylor.
does Zach Taylor not call the play? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if he's calling the plays or not, and that's the other thing with these coaches. Like we don't know exactly what they do on
He
this
called
role.
plays.
We can't. We don't. He didn't call plays.
Oh, but I
Brian
guess
can.
Zach Taylor didn't call plays for the Rams. McVay did, and then he got hired by the Bengals. So I don't know. I don't even know if calling the plays matters for a head coach.
So basically, what we're trying to say is we know nothing about coaching.
Oh, I know literally nothing about it.
No,
I
I
know
mean
nothing about coaching.
no, and I don't know anything about Brian Callahan. I don't know anything about Dave
I mean,
Canales.
like freaking like Dan Campbell's not calling plays. Harbaugh's not calling plays. Like those guys are just dudes.
So maybe that's what matters. It's just having a dude. It's having a guy that can motivate the
I mean, that's what the
players.
Giants thought they were getting with Joe Judge.
Yeah, that's true. So
I feel
basically,
like that's the only thing is like when that doesn't work, it's like it's so much worse.
when the dude doesn't
Like
work,
Urban, yeah,
yeah, because
Urban was a dude,
at least when these guys don't work, they had some sort of offensive plan that they were gonna implement, and like
and
maybe,
they'll go back to being a coordinator, probably a successful one.
yeah, I agree.
Like that's
The
Raheem Morris is what happened to him, and now he's a head coach again. Like
yeah,
he got a
they
head
all get
coaching
yep.
job a little too soon, reestablished himself. He's also worked on both sides of the ball, which I think is impressive. I don't
So
know how common that is.
So let's just go to there
Like
because
he's
we
going
actually
from
know
like,
stuff about Raheem Morris. The Atlanta Falcons, they were the front runners for Bill Belichick. Signed Raheem Morris yesterday.
mhm,
It seems like he is a. It seems like he is a vet that's been around. He was with the Super Bowl champs Rams. He was a defensive coordinator for them, and he's been the defensive coordinator for them since that Super Bowl run. And now he gets a shot at being a head coach again. I like the hire. I think it's the way to go. It looked like that the owner really wanted Bill Belichick, but the general managers didn't want to give up that power to Belichick.
mhm,
Um, and
which
see,
makes sense.
yeah, like if you want, like, does Bill Belichick want to work with these Falcons guys? Like that's probably why Bill Belichick is not in this cycle. Um, it seems like he might not get a job in this cycle because he has to, it seems like you have to get Bill Belichick the GM and Bill Belichick the head coach
Right.
when you
I'm
hire.
not hiring a 72-year-old general manager.
No, I don't think and I think that's what a lot of these teams said, and it seems like he could be on TV next year, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Somebody said that he could be the defensive coordinator for the Commanders.
Oh, did someone say that?
Been Vrabel on the short list.
So now it's Vrabel as head coach, Bill Belichick as DC.
No, either of them will be DC, not both of them.
So neither of them are head coach or DC. Okay, wait.
No, they work under Ben Johnson.
Okay. By the
That's
way,
feasible.
by the way, Raheem Morris is another 2013 Redskins member.
I know. But he was the best coach. I'm pretty sure they sucked.
Well, it does. Hey, it's all in the graphic. It's all that matters.
I know. Well, maybe he'll suck again as a head coach. I hope he doesn't because he seems like a pretty awesome guy. But
Jalen Ramsey said that he
it
might be the
doesn't.
best coach in the NFL.
I've been listening to a ton of local radio as they track the head coaching search, and Raheem Morris is a guy who's in the conversation for the Commanders, and they've talked about him a little bit, and apparently he's like loved around the league. Like everyone that plays for him loves him.
That's
So he's
important.
gonna be dude.
Yeah, that's
Like,
important.
yeah. So I wouldn't have hated if they hired him. Like I could have definitely got. And he seems like a type of guy who like the first press conference he gives in Atlanta, they're just gonna be like, oh, like hell yeah, this guy, he's gonna have us ready to go.
So we're in. I'm in. You fired me up.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Um, I the last big fish, Jim Harbaugh, going to the Chargers. Um, it was funny. Right, this happened right after our last pod, and right before our pod.
yeah,
My
minutes.
my roommate Mike, who is a Michigan fan, was like, I don't know
South
why.
Carolina.
I mean, he is a South Carolina fan, but like, I guess he grew up as a Michigan fan, and like, yeah, I know, I get it. Trust. I mean, I'm just saying. He was like, I don't know if it's a lock of him going to the NFL. And I looked at him, I was like, he's taking interviews, right? Like if he's taking interviews, he's not gonna. I feel like he's just gonna take the job. And he
He
did.
also tried to negotiate an immunity clause with Michigan that he couldn't be fired.
Really?
Yes, it was like pending any NCAA punishment, could not be fired.
Well,
That
that's
was what
why
he
he
was
wanted
trying
to
to get in his
leave.
contract.
He was just trying to get all
Oh
this
yeah, it makes
NCAA stuff
sense.
off his back. Yeah, it does make sense. It does.
But they want a title. So who cares?
Yeah, and he gets to ride out on top. He'll never have to buy a beer in Michigan. He'll never have to buy anything in Michigan, honestly.
Yeah.
And he'll own that city forever still, while hopefully having a great roster and taking a team that's desperately needed a real head coach for years now. A quarterback who's been like cursed with terrible head coaches and offensive coordinator changes and
This dysfunction.
yeah. So to bring some stability to the Chargers is going to be hard. It's a cursed franchise.
Yeah,
But
it is. Yeah, it's like a serious, like the unstoppable force versus
mhm.
immovable object. the culture change of Harbaugh, that effect
Versus
versus
the timid, or not
the
timid, but the
toxic
rancid culture.
Chargers.
Yeah, the rancid culture
Yeah.
of the Chargers.
Yeah.
I
So
hope it
I'm
works
fascinated to see how it plays out. I do too. Yeah. Why not?
because I'm
I like
tired.
Harbaugh.
And I'm tired of seeing this Herbert. Like, we've already talked about it throughout this whole season. How we've hated the Herbert crap, and all these nerds love Herbert.
Mhm.
And it's like, I just want to see him win some games. I just want to see him win some games. And
Yeah.
there's been so many excuses for him that now that Jim Harbaugh's in, the excuses out the window. I don't care if it's his first year. He's 60 years old. Um, he should, as they said in this article that you sent me by, what's that? What was this? What place called again? The Zoom or whatever it's called.
Then
The Zone. Yeah, yeah. It says it's the final step that will hopefully lead them to win the Lombardi Trophy. This should be the final step. We've been waiting long enough.
win the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, no, I mean they need
I
to
mean,
win some playoff games.
how about winning a playoff game?
Yeah, or being a stable franchise for 17 games,
Yeah.
a real team for 17
Look at
games.
just having like a normal season.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That
And
is the other thing. Like with Harbaugh, you're not having a normal season.
yeah, but at least it's
He's kind of a
like
wacko.
at least it's the Chargers though, and like you're not gonna get one anyways. You're gonna get some random
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fair.
I like that hire a lot. I think it's the best way to save what you have left of Herbert. And what you have left
Yeah,
of
I do
Herbert
too.
can be, 10 years. Like we can have 10 years of Herbert.
Oh yeah.
So you got to salvage that and get the best out of him. And Jim Harbaugh's the guy to do
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone like saying that they don't approve of this hire.
it. Yeah, I don't know who's going to think that like he was successful in the NFL. He was great in college. And like people underrate how successful he was in the NFL. Like he was a very good NFL
Mhm.
head coach. Um,
Yeah, he made a Super Bowl.
yeah, and his winning percentage in the NFL, I'm pretty sure is like north of 70. So
Yeah.
love that. We have some more comments. Et about
Boy.
the coaching. 6-year contract is good. They have no first this
Ooh.
year, and their team sucks. Let them grow with Bryce. Year one thing, and they know that it won't be a 1-year thing, and they know that. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a 1-year thing, but year 3, if he's not winning games, that David Tepper is, we've seen, pretty rash with his coaching. I don't think he's gonna last all 6 unless he's good, but I do think 6 years. Like I think that's what all the head coaching. Like it's a young guy, lock him up for 6 years. Why not? I'm sure they're not paying him, anything nuts. So I don't mind the 6
Mhm.
years. So Seattle, you think is Dan Quinn? What is your what is this Washington fanfic we got going on here?
What with Belichick as the DC?
Let me just hear it all. What's going to happen with
Well,
Washington?
that's about it. That was the fan
So
fiction. But what's gonna happen is they're gonna hire Ben Johnson after the Lions get beat Sunday, and he'll probably be the head coach early next week. And the rumor was he's gonna bring in, his name is Hank Fraley, as the offensive coordinator. He's the O-line coach right now in Detroit. Talk about a dude. Hank Fraley is a hoss. I just like looked him up. I was like, oh, I could get behind this guy being our offensive coordinator. But Ben Johnson will be the offensive coordinator.
oh, this dude is a he looks
He's
like
not.
he works at the pawn shop in Vegas.
He's from Gaithersburg too. That'd be a.
Nice. Bring him
I feel like I don't
home.
know if this is how I don't know if this is how all areas and football teams are, but I feel like always we're talking about like, oh, this guy's from like Maryland or Virginia. We got to bring him home. Like always. Is that how like are other cities like that?
I don't know. I mean, there's no professional team.
Maybe
Like
there's just a lot of talent that comes from this area.
well, yeah, there is. There's a ton of basketball talent. There's a ton
Yeah.
of football talent. I think like it's different. We've grown up in Maryland your whole life. I've grown up in Maryland my whole life, and then only spent time in a city that doesn't have another professional team. So everyone loves the coming home stuff for Carolina guys, like coming back to Carolina.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think Panthers fans are like, like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
You know,
Like in 10 years, if Beamer's on the market for the Panthers job, are they gonna be like, bring him home? Like, I don't know.
that's wishful.
I mean, I wish he would just. I mean, probably just stay at the head coach. Yeah, wishful thinking for Panthers.
Anyway, yeah, I think he's like the odds-on favorite at this point. I actually got a tweet that Ben Johnson is now minus 1,000 to be the head coach, next head coach.
He's pretty locked in.
Dan Quinn is next, and Bobby Slowick, Mike McDonald.
Slowick is he's a Redskin 2013 fan, right? Or staff member, right?
Of course he is. Of course he is. Yeah, he's just really young. Like, this is his first year being a coordinator.
Yeah, I think that would be a
Johnson
pretty
is in his
rash
second
decision.
year.
Yeah, get Ben Johnson in here. It looks like. I mean, seems like all Washington fans are gonna love it. Ethan's asking what Dan Campbell got.
He's asking what?
What Dan Campbell got for his first head coaching job.
What, like contract?
Yeah. Well, how many years? He signed a 6-year deal.
I know nothing. Really?
Yeah.
Seems really long.
I think that's just what they do, man. I like think about what they do.
Rivera got a 5-year deal.
Think about what they do for college. It's always 4 years. It's always 4 or 5 years. It's never shorter than 3.
I feel like 6 feels a way more than 4. It's like in college, 4 years is perfect because that you get your guys in. That's a whole recruiting cycle. And the NFL, like 4 years is, I feel like, it's plenty to prove. 6 is like if you don't know after 6 years, what are you doing?
Yeah, but they never make it past these 6 years. Like, you're acting like they always make out these contracts. Only the good ones do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're gonna get fired anyway, like if they're good after 3 years, they're getting an extension. If they're not, they're getting fired.
Well, I don't. Look. I mean, we can. Same thing with the quarterbacks, right? That's just how the business is.
I guess, yeah. That's why I don't care. Like, money.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that's the other thing you got to think about.
There's like
all these monies just burning away. Is all these rich white people who run the team.
Yeah, so it's not real money.
Yeah.
They're playing with monopoly money.
Honestly. All right, let's change over to a different sport. I think we exhausted our NFL discussion for today. We had some NBA news that happened we were supposed to do it last episode, but it got too long. Doc Rivers. Well, first of all, the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin after 34 games or 44 games, I think. They saw enough. They saw that they weren't going to win the championship. They saw that their team was struggling with this coaching staff, and they cut bait.
Struggling is being the 2 seed in the East.
Yeah, that's true. But if
look, 30 and 13.
I will say though, they had apparently, from all the reports I heard, is that they had the general managers and the front office attend practice to see what Adrian Griffin was doing. And
dude, I want to do that. I want to do that so bad.
Go to a Wizards practice, just see what they do. What do they do?
What are they doing?
What are they doing?
We'll get to them later. There's a couple things there.
But they decided that enough was enough. They brought in. I think really what the issue was that the players didn't respect him and the players didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
So if you can't get the players to buy in, then there's no hope of winning a championship, and there's no hope of keeping this coach. And honestly, I think it's a respectable move. A lot of other teams would have let this flame out.
To say, like, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of him now.
Yeah. And I think a lot of teams go ahead and, try to, like, oh, we have a championship roster. We have Giannis. We have Dame. We could try to win this anyways, despite the coach. But to have the balls to just fire the guy and get a real adult in Doc Rivers. Say what you will about Doc Rivers. He gets players bought in, unless it's James Harden or Ben Simmons. And, I mean, and
guys are an anomaly.
Yes, got. Well, I mean, James Harden's actually been pretty good, but let's see if he doesn't make an All Star. Let's see what happens. But did you see the day they fired Adrian Griffin, the Bucks in their pregame doing like a conga line celebrating the demise of of their
Yeah, that was
coach?
a tough look.
That that's
Definitely a tough
disrespectful.
look.
That's got
Yeah.
that's a little too far. Like you can hate the guy all you want as your coach, but like, come on, you're gonna dance on his grave,
He's a
literally.
human being.
Yeah, honestly, he's a human being that wants another job in this league.
Yeah.
Um, but
I don't think they ever should have fired Budenholzer. I don't know what it was like in the locker room, but you'd want a finals. Like, doesn't that give you a few years? I guess the NBA is so whack. Like, Dwayne Casey got fired the year after he won Coach of the Year.
the year he won it,
Like, it's
he
just,
accepted it as a different coach.
yeah, it's just it's a wild league. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. So when I
No,
saw it, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? And then, like, I thought about it. I was like, it's the NBA. Like, the Cavs did this with Blot.
yep, yep. They it's a brutal league out here, and it seems. I mean, clearly, it seems like they regret the decision. Like they've had to fire their coach and get another guy that's been doing podcasts for the past couple months. I think Doc Rivers is a good replacement for this head coach, as I'm sure Sixers fans will laugh and
Mm-hmm.
say no, no, no. But I think like he's gonna get them bought in. He's gonna get them fired up to win a championship, and he knows how to do it. Like we've seen him win a championship before. I know it was 2008, long time ago, and he's had plenty of good rosters that have been blown 3-1 leads since then. But when you look at it, he had Kawhi and Paul George always injured. He had Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul now we've seen him. Like him and Doc was like a perfect pairing. Like talk about the two biggest chokers in the league. Like that's the best you could get.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, and then he had Ben Simmons. He had James Harden. He had to deal with, and I guess I'm giving a bunch of excuses to a guy that like I've rooted against for the past 3 years and called him a terrible head coach. But you could see why his team's messed up and why he failed.
Mhm.
But this team, like this, is a championship roster. As you said, they're the 2 seed. Um, I don't know if he coached against the Cavs or not that first game, but
No, I don't think he did because I saw a stat that was like the Cavs are going to play the Bucks 3 times in 10 days, and they could have a different coach for every game. I don't know. I don't know who coached that last game. I
that'd be
guess
pretty
just
funny.
whoever they. That is the intern.
It seemed like the biggest, besides the locker room, was the defense of the way that they used the defense, and apparently they didn't like how they used the
Mhm.
defense this time. Um, and they have this Brooke Lopez where he just kind of like zones out in the middle of the court, and they weren't really doing that. So I think that's what Doc's going to go back to, and yeah, other coaching changes
It
in. Oh,
the
go ahead.
craziest part of this to me though is that did I see this correctly that he's signing like a 4-year deal?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the full head coach. This is no interim.
Like that in the middle of the season? I don't think I've ever seen.
I don't think so either. Nor have
Like
I.
this isn't an extension.
No, yeah. He was not on the staff. I think it's like it's. I think it's extremely weird that they got someone completely out of house and that was doing broadcasting for the NBA. He was working for ESPN. I know he was on Bill Simmons'
Yeah.
pod every 3 weeks. Bill Simmons almost was in tears that he lost him, but the
Was he really?
and not in tears, but he was upset that he lost Doc. But yeah, it's a crazy story that happened, and I hope it works out because they're gonna be eating a lot of money on coaches if they had to fire him as well.
Yeah.
Want to talk about
But yeah,
another
that was
great coaching change that happened in the NBA?
Wiz.
The Wiz, Wes Unseld,
Yeah.
it got promoted.
Oh, no.
Yes.
They stuck him in the building somewhere because his dad is a legend. if he wasn't junior, he would be on the streets. Right?
Ooh, streets.
Not like not you know what I mean.
No,
Like
I know
he
exactly
would
what you
be
mean. You'd be homeless,
fired and not given
depressed,
a new
and
job.
oh, okay.
Like literally homeless. um,
Begging on the streets
sorry
of
for
DC.
phrasing it like that. He would not be given a front office role. Yeah, I mean they're 7-36. Like I don't think you can really say and complain about that move. I love what they're doing in the front office. I feel like they're just like there are no games, no carnivals. Um, feels like they're actually running a legit operation. Maybe we'll finally get a new rotation. Still hasn't happened yet. Even
Yeah,
with the
it
new
was.
coach,
Yeah,
we'll see.
last night there wasn't a new rotation.
It's pretty wild. Um, I will say Marvin Bagley has been awesome for this team. Like they've completely flipped his season around. He had like four
Season, his
double doubles all
career.
year, and well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
He's an all-star next year. Let's give him the minutes.
That
All
would be
right,
incredible.
you know what's hilarious
It
too
was.
about the Wizards is that you know that they this is like world-class level of terrible basketball. Like this is on, and it's
Oh yeah,
on purpose. Marvin Bagley last night or yesterday, yeah, last night, 16 minutes, 14 points, and he wasn't playing a minute over 16
yeah. I didn't understand that.
because they want to lose. Marvin
Fine.
Bagley gives you
They're at the
20 and
point
10
where
every night.
they've lost enough. A win that here and there would be nice. Like this is unacceptable. How bad they are.
It's pretty bad.
Like you can be bad on purpose and not be this bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the pool thing has not worked.
Well, the fire sale's coming. We've already gotten reports.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
Well, because no one wants Kuzma.
I saw. Yeah, I think Tyus is gone,
I think Gafford's gone.
which makes sense. That's okay with me.
Get Gafford on a
I think
not okay as a
think he's a good backup on a contender.
on a. I was just gonna say,
He's just so athletic.
as a Celtics fan, I hate this because I'm looking ahead, but Daniel Gafford to the Nuggets makes perfect sense to me. They don't have a big. Their backup is DeAndre Jordan and then a bunch of rookies. So if they get a vet that can play defense, get boards behind Jokic, and he can score. He knows how to score. So I love Gafford to the Nuggets in some sort of package.
Yeah, I
And
can see
then
that.
move Bagley right to the starting role. Let him start the rest of the season. Let him cook.
He's earned it. Did you see the thing about the reporter that they took away the credentials for?
The Wizards did? No.
Yeah. It was this like independent reporter. He's been covering the team since his bio says since Paul Pierce. So it's been a while. And he tweeted something about there's a billboard that the Wizards put up that didn't have Tyus Jones on it. He tweeted something about like how that could mean that he's gonna get traded. Something like that. And Tyus Jones like retweeted it with like an emoji. And Ted revoked his credentials. Like go to the games.
I love it.
It's ridiculous.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't love it.
And this is the day after he wrote a whole letter to the fans about why it's the right decision to move the team to Virginia.
Oh, this guy's the worst.
So, not no.
This guy's the worst.
Yeah, it's tough luck. Tough luck.
What I hate about the Wizards is that all I've heard about this draft class is how bad the top is.
It's terrible. Yeah. They'll be bad for the next 3 years, though. Like, they'll have. Well, I was listening yesterday, and they had David Aldridge on, and he's like, as bad as they are this year, they might be worse next year, and they might be even worse the year after that. Like, you guys that complained about mediocrity, they're not mediocre anymore. They're bad.
That's good, though.
Really bad.
That's good.
It's good, yeah. It's like
it's good.
Yeah.
It's a necessary it's a necessary evil for the law. It's funny. We win the class discussion and I guess for you work discussion last time. But when you're doing, I was learning about international trade the other day, and if you want a free trade agreement, it's gonna impact you in the short term. There's gonna be some losses. Might be 37 of them
Mhm.
and 7 wins, but in the long term, it's better for everyone. Creates jobs everywhere.
Right.
So
Yep.
this is the free trade of the Washington Wizards, long term movement, the youth
It's
movement.
the only thing is like if they did this 3 years ago, it could have been a lot less painful.
When you would have had a lot more better players on your team, like now.
So
But like the
that's okay though.
and
I'm willing to sit it out. I got other stuff going on.
and you have like the the big cap figure, almost the kryptonite of the mediocrity, the embodiment of it all in Bradley Beal is gone, and he's mediocring another team. Um, and I think that's the biggest asset that the Wizards have is that he's gone.
Yeah. It is like the extension never should have been signed.
The fact
I
that there's a
remember
no
doing the
trade clause.
podcast on that day, and I was like, "Ow."
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So you don't think Kyle
long
Kuzma gets
process.
moves?
I think they'll shop around, and if they get a deal that they like, then they'll flip him. If not, then wait till next year or the year after that.
Yeah, I think he's
No
stuck
one's
there.
trading for Poole, which sucks.
Nobody wants Poole. No, nobody wants Poole. I don't
I
think
really
anyone
thought
wants.
that was going to work.
I don't think anyone wants Kuzma either. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a good scorer, though.
That's true. That's true. And he's a big body. Like Jordan Poole's not a big body either.
Yeah.
Like you can't even post him up against guys.
Yeah.
Celtics. I guess we'll give a little update on them. They finally did lose a game at home. They lost to the Nuggets. They're I think 30-1 at home. Maybe that's too many.
Mm.
No, that's way too many.
That is too many.
Yeah, they're 20. They're
20 and
20-1.
1.
They're 20-1 at home.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, it was getting there to be. I think the highest home record has been one loss at home. So
Mhm.
they're now only able to tie. I'm pretty sure it's the Spurs, one of those Tim Duncan years. But they're still they're still a fantastic team. I think they need someone to replace some Pritchard minutes because like when they're playing the Nuggets, Pritchard can't be out there. He's too small. I'm sorry, he's too small. He can't get his shot off. He doesn't play. Everyone drives past him on defense, and he's gonna be when White and Holiday are out, and that guard spot is gonna be the most important spot in the playoffs. Um,
Mm.
and I don't know who they can get because this team like adores each other. This team absolutely loves each other,
Mhm.
and when you mess up a chemistry like that, it could be hard midseason. Um, I don't think they do anything at the deadline, honestly. They might wait for some buyout guys that they could get if they can get any because these aprons, like they couldn't get a Kyle Lowry. I wouldn't want a Kyle Lowry anyways, but they couldn't get one if he got bought out by the Hornets because his cap number's too high. They couldn't get a Kelly Olynyk if he got bought
Mhm.
out. These aren't guys I want, of course, but these are just numbers that I know.
You don't want Olynyk back.
Not really. I don't think Olynyk has any purpose on this team. Um, and the big thing is yesterday, Porzingis in the big win against the Miami Heat, he twisted his ankle.
And went down.
Yeah, good. Celtics' latest injury report signals good news for Porzingis. That's good. He's the most important factor of this team. If he's
Mhm.
not healthy in the playoffs,
When he's on, he's unstoppable.
yeah, and this team has figured out a way where for 40, how many? It's like what 48 minutes in a basketball game.
48.
Yeah, so for 46 minutes, they know how to use him perfectly. What scares me is those last 2 minutes. Um,
Yeah.
the last 2 minutes with the Celtics team takes it right when it hits 2 minutes against a close game against a real championship level team. All of a sudden, the clocks turn back to 2020 and or 2020 or 2019, and it's Jalen and Jason hero ball. It's terrible threes. People aren't moving. People aren't driving. Porzingis is stuck in the corner. Just how they used him in Dallas. That's what concerns me with this team, besides the Pritchard minutes the
Mhm.
most. Is that those last 4 to 5 minutes in a close game, they result back to the bad habits that they've had their whole careers. And it's on Missoula and the coaching staffs to get that out of it. And it's on them to watch specifically this Nuggets game, that the Nuggets treated it as a freaking finals game, and the Celtics late in the game they treated it like a finals game for 45 minutes. Last 3 minutes they treated it like every other. I mean, I guess they did treat it like a finals game, like every other final game that they've played in, where it just results in the same crap over and over again. I know I'm sounding nitpicky. This team is fantastic. This team blows out teams every other game.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I was talking about this last night as we were watching the game in my apartment, and it's like, as a Celtics fan, I'm sure it's awesome to watch your team win this many games, and like just watching good basketball is fun, but at the same time, you're just waiting
I don't care about the
until
regular
April.
season. I don't care.
Why would
I
you?
no, and the yeah, I agree, because this has been as joyous as it's been being a Celtics fan. The past, you know, ever forever being a Celtics fan has always been good. Um, but when you look at these teams, and they've always had the right excuses. They've always been a year too young. And last year wasn't there was no excuse last year, but the teams have not been able to perform in the playoffs, and they always crumble at like the worst times, and it's always like this heartbreak in every series, even if it's not the series that they lost. It's always like 7 games for no reason, or 3 games they shouldn't have lost. And so you're right. Watching all these games, it's great. They blew out the Heat by 30 in Miami yesterday. That's a great sign. All the Miami Heat players played. They were fully healthy. But come, even if they're the 8th seed, come April, I'm going to be petrified of seeing Scary Terry on the Heat. And I knowing what they can do.
I knew you would be in shambles over that trade.
Oh, I hate Scary Terry on the Heat. I already know in a playoff series, like he's scoring
That's
3 3-pointers
the
against us
killer.
in a playoff series. At least once this year, if we play him in the playoffs, he's
Yeah.
going to score 30 plus points. And I was arguing with Aaron Barton, who we've had on the pod, and he's a Hornets fan, of course. And I was saying that the Hornets are dumb. They got a protected first round pick, and they got Kyle Lowry back. Congrats. They just gave the Heat like their secret weapon come playoff time. And they already have Jaime Jaquez, so like you already know I'm scared.
Yeah, you said all the key players played. One didn't.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize Jaime didn't play. I'm looking at it right now. You're right. Jaime didn't play. Yeah, their best asset against the Heat is Porzingis as well, because Porzingis can spread out Bam and
Mhm.
make Bam kind of irrelevant when it
Yeah, it's not a
comes to
great
that side.
matchup. But Bam was going right at Porzingis a little bit.
He does have some soft nods to it, of course. Come on. Him and Jaylen Brown though have been. Did you see Jaylen Brown made them a nickname?
What?
Cookies and cream. They're the boys apparently. Like apparently they sit on the
Sure.
plane together, and it's funny because Jalen's always been separate from Jason. They've never been like
Mhm.
boys. They've always been great co-basketball stars. They've always been co-all-stars, lead the team together, but they've never been close. And to see Jalen
Mhm.
have a teammate that he adores is, I think, good for the Celtics, especially. And now that he has the extension, I guess it doesn't matter. But last year, it was all the talks of like, oh, he might hate this team secretly
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So luckily, that's all out of there. Seems like this team, and they want to win the chip more than I think they want to win the chip as much as the fans do. So they know what's on the line here.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, they know what's on the line here. But again, there's no real update until April when it comes to the Celtics here.
Yep.
The Knicks did blow out the Nuggets last night. I do want to mention that. They blew them out by 38 points. I don't know what that means.
Scored 70.
But what?
Embiid scored 70.
Embiid did score
Couple nights
70.
ago.
Yeah, and the more important story of that night is that Karl Anthony Towns scored 62 and got benched in the final 2 minutes of the game. And then his coach came out afterwards and said,
Ripped him a new one.
yeah, ripped him an absolute new one, and said that they played immature basketball, and that's not the way they want to play. Which is true. You can't score 62 points and lose to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently,
that's
reports I have that at halftime, the Timberwolves locker room saw what Embiid was doing and was like, "Oh, we got to get Karl Anthony Towns to get 72." So that's that was probably what the coach was referring to.
Yeah.
All right, what else happened that night? Oh, and the next night, that's what I wanted to talk about. Another GG Jackson masterclass.
Oh boy.
That's all I want to mention. He got another 17 points, 26 minutes. I just love that he's getting minutes.
Man, I mean that's. Yeah.
I know, and for us, I mean, second round guy felt. I mean, this was the best thing. I was talking to, I'm like good friends with a security guard at Colonial Life. Name's Myra. Talk every game because she's seen me the past 4 years. And I was talking to her about GG. She was like, I think that it was the best thing that happened to her was getting basically like punched in the face here. Yeah, pretty much. And it looks like it's worked out. So happy for GG. Just wanted to give a little GG update. Anything else? Anything else you want to throw out there NBA wise?
No. I think we hit on all the major stuff.
Yeah, there wasn't that many trades that went down besides that. But it does look like the trade deadline could get a little feisty. I mean, all these moves, I love seeing all the moves happen pre-trade deadline, because hopefully that means like there's some fire coming on the actual deadline day. I will say before we get off NBA and close this podcast, right now the teams in the playoffs for the East are like peak playoff NBA teams. You got the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Cavaliers, even the Heat, and then the Magic. That's all good basketball right there.
What'd you expect?
Well, I don't know. Like, this could be a random Bulls team in there or the Hawks. But luckily, there's not as of right now.
Bulls are a disaster. I'd rather be a Wizards fan than a Bulls fan.
Bulls are a disaster, but they've seemed to have struck something with Kobe White. And it seems like they're going to
Remember when they were the 1 seed for a little bit?
Yeah, last year, right? Right at the beginning of the season.
Was it last year or was it 2 years ago?
I think 2 years ago was the Wizards run at the 1 seed. Remember, they were the 1 seed for like
yeah, that was for games. 10 games though.
Yeah,
the Bulls was like a decent way into the season.
Yeah, I think it was a good quarter of the season. But remember they had a terrible record against 500 or plus 500 teams.
Yes.
They need to get rid of Levine and DeRozan and Vucevic. Just completely blow up house. It seems like they're getting calls on them, but they need to make a move. I do think I like this. I mean, I don't like it. I like it as a Sixers fan. The Sixers have a lot of ammo they can move around because of that Harden trade. They got a bunch of expiring contracts that they can get rid of. If they can get a DeRozan or a Levine on their team and keep a Tobias Harris and a Maxey, they could be a pretty scary
Maxey's
team.
not going.
No, Maxey's not going nowhere. But if they can keep Harris and get rid of like some of this Marcus Morris, Nick Batum contracts, you can add up to DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine pretty quickly. I hope they don't do that.
Batum.
But fourth quarter, like, why the fuck Batum? Still the craziest bar of any rap song. Poor Nick Batum got completely driven by on that. All right. I guess we could predict trades, but that's lame. That never works out. It's always grander.
When is the deadline?
I think it's February 8th. If I pulled that out of my ass, I'm gonna give it
okay.
February 8th. Boom! Call us the wise guys for
Nice.
nothing. Let's go.
Good pull.
All right. Um, all right. Yeah, but there's no reason to talk about fake trades. I don't like talking about fake trades. They always come back to bite us in the ass. Let's just wrap it up, I think. Right?
Put a bow on it.
Yeah, let's put a bow. All right. Thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed. I think we covered it. I mean, we hit a lot this episode. So I hope whatever you were hoping to listen to got it covered. And we'll see you all on. There's no game.
The game.
Yeah.
Maryland won a game also.
All right. No. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Because I don't have a game on Friday or a game on Tuesday. So Tuesday we're back. We'll be recapping the championship. And looking, I guess we're not even gonna be looking ahead of the Super Bowl because we'll have 2 weeks too. So we're gonna be in that barren period.
Yeah, we'll do a few minutes.
Yeah. So
Though.
see everyone then.